Hello, my YouTubers. I'm Dr. Priscilla, and I'm going live today. In addition to my going live on YouTube, I'm also going live on my Facebook channel. So frequently, you'll see me look down, and I'm looking down at my Facebook group. Hello, Facebook group. I am Dr. Priscilla. Just waiting for a few people to join either on YouTube, the YouTube channel, or on Facebook Live. So I want to congratulate you, those of you that are staying up, waiting for me to come on today. And thank you for those of you who will watch the replay. Just know that I know that you're here with me. Hey, Emily, how are you? And thank you so much for joining me today. Let me know if you have a question for me. Hello, Minhaz. How are you? And Minhaz, I am a native English speaker, and I live in the United States. I live on the East Coast. Where do you live, Minhaz? I believe you are a first-time visitor for me, and I want you to know that I value you and I appreciate you coming on today. And Emily, I think you too are a new visitor. Perhaps you just joined the Facebook group. Whichever case it may be, I am really happy that you're here. So if you have not interacted with the Facebook group before, please look at some of the posts that I've made over the past few weeks. And if any of the incentives impress upon you that this is something that you would like to be a part of, please let me know in the chat box, and I will certainly avail all of that material and resources to you. Now, what am I talking about specifically? Right now, I have my ebook on travel available for students, especially those students that will be traveling within the United States or other English-speaking countries between now and 6 months. I think that you will find this ebook a valuable resource for you. If you think that this is something that will be of value, please don't hesitate to message me in the chat box and I'll get that to you. What questions can I answer for you today, Amini or Minhaz, since you are first-time viewers? I am a native speaker. I live in the United States, and I am a professional conversational English coach to English language learners. What specific questions can I answer for you today? Let's talk about, until someone asks a specific question, let's talk about a phrasal verb. And after I talk about a few phrasal verbs, I'll talk about an idiom. I'll choose one idiom and talk about that one idiom. I'm going to take a moment and look on my computer to find a phrasal verb that might be a little bit intriguing. And so I'm going there now. And open. There are the phrasal verbs that I'm going to look at today. And phrasal verbs will be quite useful for those of you who are anticipating taking the IELTS or the TOEFL English proficiency exam. You will need to understand how to use a phrasal verb. It isn't enough to know what a phrasal verb is. More importantly, you need to know how to use a phrasal verb correctly. Let's see. I'm going to talk about 3 phrasal verbs in this session. The first phrasal verb will be brush up on. The second one will be touched on. And the third phrasal verb will be blanked out. Okay? So these are all related to education, reading, school, something related in that area. Now, brush up on means to touch on something. Well, touch on is one of the words that we want to use. Let's just say, for example, you were learning how, you were learning how to speak English, and you had completed an introductory course on greeting people, such as hello, how are you, where are you from, hi Nur, how are you today? Nur, if you wait until the end of the class, I will send you information about obtaining the ebook. That ebook is on travel. But I'm going to share more information about that at the end. So brush up on is a phrasal verb. So if you were practicing your English and you took a course and you learned the introductory phrases such as hello, how are you, and could engage in a conversation, but maybe 3 months passed and you had not visited the class or practiced the sessions anymore. So this is when you want to brush up on something that you've already entered into. Okay, so that's brush up on. When we touch on something, the tutor, someone such as myself, or your coach, today I'm touching on the subject of conversational English with phrasal verbs. I'm touching on this subject. I'm teaching this subject. I'm not teaching it in depth, but I am touching on it. Okay. Now, the third idiom is the one of blanked out. Hey, Saeed, how are you today? Thank you so much for joining Emily, Minhas, and Nur. I really appreciate your jumping on briefly while we're talking today. And for those of you who are watching YouTube, thank you so much for being here as well. Those of you that will watch the replay, thank you again for that. Hey, Murad, it's nice of you to join me today. Today, we are talking about 3 phrasal verbs. We're talking about 3 phrasal verbs. The first one is brushed up on or brush up on, touched on, and then the third one is blanked out. Now, I'm going to use all 3 of those as I talk about, let's just say, perhaps an IELTS question. This would be an IELTS Part 2 question where you actually have in your hand or on your desk a card, and it might read, describe a school which you went to. You should say when you went there, how many people studied there, how long you spent there, and explain what you liked and disliked about it. So, to respond to that prompt and answer with blanked out, what was the other one? What were the other 2? Who remembers what one of the other 2 is? One is blanked out, brush up on. What was the third one? Who remembers what the third one is? And the third one is touched on. Okay? So those are the 3 that you're going to use as you answer the prompt. You have 2 minutes to answer the prompt. And Saeed, Murad, Nur, Minhas, and Emily, you would respond to the prompt similar to this. Describe the school which you went to. The school I went to was the University of North Carolina. I went there in 1982, and there were approximately 500 students in my class. So those of you who are watching the YouTube, there has been a stop on my Facebook page. It's as if the connection has stopped. So I'm waiting for the connection to reconnect, and I'm going to respond to the prompt about the school. Remember, I have 2 minutes to respond. I'm waiting now for, okay, I think it's back. All right, so my connection stopped for just a moment. Now I'm going to start again with the prompt, remembering that I'm going to use brushed on, brush up on, touched on, and blanked out. The prompt again is describe a school which you went to. A school that I went to was the University of North Carolina. I went there in 1982, and my class consisted of about 450 students. I was in the University of North Carolina for about 4 years. What I really liked about being at the university is that when my instructor, Dr. Millihan, went over information or reviewed information, he would touch on things that really resonated with me, and it made it so much more interesting. Also, it served as a review because I had had similar lessons at another university that I had attended. So it was just like brushing up on some information that I already knew. The good thing about being at the university was that I was well prepared for all of the exams, and I didn't have any fear that I would blank out any of the information when preparing for the test. And that would be an 8 answer on the IELTS exam if I were being graded at this time. So I want to say thank you guys for listening and staying with me today. Those of you who are, hey Taha, those of you who are watching on YouTube, thank you so much for being here. And those of you who are with me on Facebook, you know I always value and appreciate you as well. For those of you who are interested in purchasing my ebook on travel, especially if you're traveling within the next 1 to 6 months, I believe that this will be valuable information for you. The cost is only $9.97, and it is a downloadable ebook. So if you're interested, let me know and I'll get that to you right away. So there we are. Thanks, guys, and have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye for now. Thanks, Nur. Take care, guys. Thanks, Nur. Thanks, Saha, for joining me. Saeed, thank you for being here. Murad, Saeed again, and Minhas and Emily. You are valued. Until my next post, I'm Dr. Priscilla, the CEO and founder of Speak Excellent English. Be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel and invite your friends to join Speak Excellent English Facebook group. Bye for now. Hello, Facebook group. I am Dr. Priscilla. Just waiting for. So I need to close this one. Let's see, how do I close my Facebook Live? Okay, thanks, guys. Bye. I've ended the Facebook group. Now I am ending the live YouTube.